Alright folks, I just finished my review of the ESV Heirloom Study Bible, this one right here, and I made a bold proclamation that it was the finest ESV Study Bible I have ever seen, and I stand by that. And now it's time to compare, which is, it's not really fair, but we got to do it so you can see the differences. Compare the Heirloom Study Bible with the deep brown Cowhide from Crossway. Both of them Crossway. This is the previous edition. This would have been one of the better editions you could get in the Cowhide cover. They also made some in the Abba calfskin cover initially, and those are actually really nice covers. I still feel like the Heirloom is better, but I'll show you the difference. It also comes down to the paper quality in this one. So let's talk about it. You can see the boxes behind them. The ESV Heirloom is just nice. The Study Bible, this one retails, if you haven't watched my other review, the ESV Heirloom Study Bible retails for $375. I know it's steep. It's very steep, but they're on sale right now for $225. Now, I don't know how long that'll be, and I'm not sure how many of these are going to make. I'm not sure if they're even going to make them again, because inside the box is a letter saying that they were doing this in commemoration for their 80th anniversary. So I'm not really sure if they're going to make this every year, or at least every other year whenever they produce the Heirloom editions. I'm not sure if this is a one-time deal, or if this is going to continue. Just depends on how they sell, I assume. Now, these have been produced since 2008, and they've sold great. And I think the Cowhide edition, you can see up there that 1 million copies sold. Now, that's not all Cowhide editions, but the ESV Study Bible itself. So it's sold really well for Crossway. So anyway, let's talk about some of the differences between these two cousins. All right, so first thing you can look at is the cover. The cover on this is a Cowhide. It has your fold over, not stitched. Now, I have seen some that were stitched, so I'm not really sure why some editions were stitched and some were not. Also, you can see where the book block doesn't always line up perfectly on the cover. It should line inside that fold over, where you can see it's laying over the fold over on the bottom and short of it inside. And it's a little bit under on this end, so that means the block was a little bit misaligned when they attached the cover to the block. Anyway, on the spine you have your raised ribs, and you can see the differences. The ribs are not really tooled in, they're just raised. I still like this. It's still one of my favorite Bibles, and I use it now. I'll probably be using this one exclusively, but you can see the differences in the spine here, where the Heirloom has the ESV logo instead of the ESV in large caps. So I think this just looks neater and cleaner. It dresses it up a little bit more with the fancy logo. So anyway, that's nice. And you can also see that the ribs are tooled in nicely, and it gives a lot of definition. Also, you see this right here? This spine of this cover is not reinforced. I can stick my finger back behind here and there's only paper between the block and the cover. This spine has got boarding reinforcing this spine, and that is super important. Why this edition is so much better than its predecessors. So the reinforcement, it's the things you can't see. The reinforcement in this block, the strength of this block, is so important for the longevity of how these Bibles hold up. So let me go ahead and open them. Well, first I also want to show you the gilding. Now, I got this ESV Study Bible almost in like new condition, and you can see this is how it came out of the box. The gold is kind of intermittent. It's heavy in some spots, light in others, and really that's That's not abnormal for a lot of the Crossway Bibles. It's not the worst. It's not the best. It has just, it's just not completely covered all the time, and they'll eventually wear off. You can see the lines where it's kind of hit or miss between the signatures, where it got double spray or not, where you can see that the block is much cleaner in on the Heirloom. It's much finer. You see where they cut the edges, big edges, much finer, smaller edges. It's really nice. See the same, they're the same exact size Bible. It's the same Bible. Just this is very similar to in thickness as well. You can see they're very comparable in thickness. The paper, that's why the ghosting's not much different. It might be just a smidge different, a little bit better in the newer edition, maybe a touch, and I'll show you the video, or you'll see on the video. But the it is a much better paper, and I'll show you why. So let's open it up. You can see the ribbons are different. That stands out fairly clearly. It comes with two 7mm, or maybe those 5mm. Those are 5mm. Nice, really nice ribbons, but only two. And when I open this Bible up, let me open her on up right here. And you see when I hold this, you see how the cover flexes and it'll fold in two. You understand? You see what I'm saying? Because neither the block nor the cover are reinforced. So I'm gonna open it up to the middle, and I'll grab this one. You see how it doesn't do that? I'm holding just the. You see I have two fingers on it. I'm holding just the spine, and it's not buckling a bit. And that's because both the block, the back of the block is reinforced, and the spine itself is reinforced. So this Bible should, at least the sewing should hold up for a lot longer, because it's not happening like that in the newer Heirloom edition. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the same page. Let's just turn to this page in Mark 12. It's page 1921. So the pagination's the exact same, and we were close. Look at that, so close. Look at there. All right, so here's the bigger differences. You can see the page color is slightly different. The Lego is going to have a creamier, softer color. Well, you know what? I take that back. Yeah, it is the same pagination. It's the same pagination. Just they use different fonts. It threw me off there for a second. But look, listen to this. You hear that? That crinkle? You don't hear it in the Heirloom. That's because it is so well reinforced. This will lead to the Bible tearing up on you. It'll lead to, because the way it's sewn, those are inconsistencies in the sewing. That's what that comes from. Those are little bubbles where it bubbles up, and every time you turn the page, you're weakening where it's inconsistent. With this one, it's smooth. It's so perfectly sewn, and when you turn a page, you don't hear a bunch of crinkle. You hear that? Hear all that crinkle? You don't hear that with this edition. It's just smooth. That's important because it's a big deal. It's a big deal when we're talking about longevity. Okay, so if you love the ESV Study Bible and it's your jam, this one's going to last a lot longer and serve you stronger than this one will. Just if you're opening and closing it, turning pages back and forth, this one's going to serve you because of the reinforcement, because of the strength in the sewing, because of the high quality of the paper. Now I want to show you the differences in the ghosting. I've had a lot of people ask what are the ghosting differences? And I tell them that there's not much difference in the ghosting. They're about the same. When you look at the pages, you can see this top on the Heirloom. They use the same font as they use with the text, just a little bit larger. When the older one, you have this different, bolder font, and you have a line that separates and a line that separates. Well, in this one, it's much cleaner. You don't have those lines. And for your headings, your section headings, they use a different font, where in this one, they use the same font. It just really brings it together in unison using the same font. And you can see the same things are highlighted. You have the exact same notes. So you're not really losing any of the value of the Bible, any of the value of the content staying with one of these. But if you want one that is, it's the definition of premium study Bible, this is it. As far as the differences, those are the major differences. The cover, this cover is just amazing. Okay, it's the exact same cover as the Heirloom or the Omega. It's the exact same cover as the 80th anniversary Omega, and I'm going to pull it over here and show you. This is the 80th anniversary Omega. It's the floppiest Omega they ever made. Okay, it is most definitely my favorite floppy Omega. Well, this is the exact same cover. Actually, it might be a little floppier than the Omega. It is amazing. And since you have such a floppy cover, that's why you can hear that. That's why that spine being reinforced is so important. So anyway, that's about all I can show you on the comparison. As far as the content's the same, pagination's the exact same. You just have a little bit of it cleans up some of the clutter inside that the older versions had. You have the much nicer cover, the much better reinforcement, much better ribbons, much better gilding, much better, and this one's art gilded where the other one wasn't art gilded. It's just if you like the ESV Study Bible, then this is the best. This is as good as it gets. This is as good as it gets. It gets no better. And I'll hold it up again so you can see. You see how floppy it is. Goodness, I'm trying to do this one-handed. I'm sorry, but in those tabs, you see how those tabs kind of hold it out flat. You can read it one-handed, and it's just, but it wants to just flop. So anyway, that's about all I can show you on this comparison. If you want to see it compared with some other Bibles, I'll probably have some other Bibles I can compare it with. Leave that in the comments. I'll be glad to make you a short video showing the differences between the Heirloom Study Bible and the other editions. So the only thing I could think of to compare was the previous Study Bible, but you can see right here the difference between the lack of, and I've been using this one a good bit, the lack of reinforcement in the spine, how it just wants to fold over on itself, and this one's going to hold together for a long time, and it's going to look beautiful for a long time, because when you don't have that reinforcement, you can kind of see this, the front of this block will eventually start bowing out, okay, because this is going to start caving in this direction. And some of you probably already have Bibles like that. They'll start looking like that, and then before long they start jutting out further, and that's due to poor reinforcement on the spine. So anyway, that won't happen with this Bible. This Bible is strong on the spine, strong, and it should hold together, especially since it's reinforced on the block and on the cover. It should hold together strong for a long time. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and hopefully this comparison was helpful for you guys. If you want to see other things, like I said, just shoot me a message in the comments, and I'll be glad to make a short video. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. I got more reviews coming, but I've been looking forward to reviewing this Bible and making this comparison for a long time. So anyhow, thank you guys for watching. God bless.